everybody, and welcome to the Level 30 Games podcast for the month of December 2025, the last podcast of the year until we all murder each other, and this is the last podcast ever. That's on the table. Welcome, everybody, to the show. I want to thank Joe, Drew, and Dan for being here today. What's up, gentlemen?
How we doing?
It's the end of the year.
So good. So good. So bad, actually.
Video games are done for 2025.
How's your backlog looking for 2025?
Oh, it's infinitely long.
Yeah, I think I bought like 8 games in the last 3 weeks. So there we go. December has not been
Beating
kind to
that
me.
2 games a year.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're bringing up that average.
Yes, that's true. Well, Drew's average is 1 game a month, and he is now rolling that back to 2 games a year. And I think, Drew, we already found 2 games in February that come out.
Oh, I already want a game in January, I think.
Yeah, I know. We're in trouble here. Well, listen, it's the end of the year. We're going to have a light and breezy, maybe heated conversation. I think Drew's ready to throw fists. I know Joe is, because he might not be recording yet. And, yep, there it is. That's the throwing fists look.
Throwing arms.
We wanted to... It's okay, Joe. You're loved by all. That's all. You're loved. You're loved. So before we get into our really one and only topic for the day, I wanted to thank you 3 gentlemen for batting 100% on our podcast for the year. It couldn't have happened without any of you. And
Yes.
I know Joe knows from having done this in the past with some other former Level 30 people that consistency was really difficult. And we aimed to get an episode out every month, the last Monday of every month, and we were successful in that endeavor, pending the completion of this episode and my untimely demise. But if things go according to plan, then we did it. 12 episodes. Now, the new goal for next year will be to have 12 episodes with Dan, because that too. But also Dan joined us in like episode 2 or 3. He was originally the wild card, as that was supposed to be a rotating spot, and then Drew and Joe lobbied hard to get him, and I sent over the paperwork. And Dan, we're gonna need that contract back, or we can't pay you.
Fair enough.
In 0 cents.
Joe's like, wait, you guys are getting paid? So thank you guys, and thank you anyone that has ever listened to an episode or even a minute of an episode. Very much appreciated. We do this for fun because we enjoy doing it for fun. That being said, let's get into our headliner here. IGN put out an article, I think it was actually in November, and they co-authored this with Nintendo Life, where they put out the 100 best Nintendo games of all time. And I was like, oh, this is brilliant, because what more can you contend over than an arbitrary list of things that's a conglomerate of opinions that overlap in interesting ways? Which is why I actually want to kind of ask Dan the first question, because we were talking about this in a little bit of, well, not the list itself, but the idea of, like, how do you slot one game above another? Or I think it came out when we were discussing Metroid Prime 4, actually, when Drew and I were discussing reviews, and you were kind of like, I read this, and this, and we're going to kind of sit out. Dan, do you have any just quick thoughts on, like, I don't know, ranking or lists in general? I feel like you've had some strong opinions.
I feel like there's 2 really significant factors. One is novelty and new ideas, and one is replay value. A game can be great, and it doesn't mean that you can't play it. That if it's a game you won't play again, that it's not a great game. But I do think that some of these on the list, Super Mario World is a game you'll go back to again and again. It doesn't matter how many times you beat it. It's a great game. It's nostalgic. It's fun. So I think in a list like this, there is that like nostalgic replay value in terms of do I personally keep going back to it? And then just sort of broadly, did the game do something new or push video games forward in any considerable way?
So let's take what you said there and bounce it over to Drew. Drew, you like to hone in on how video games make you feel, especially as it pertains to nostalgia. Do you think that there's a difference between a game that has a nostalgic feel and a game that has high replay value? Can you separate those things?
Ooh. Can I separate replayability and nostalgia? I think at our age, it kind of goes a little bit hand in hand because, I mean, the amount of games that all three of us have played is in the thousands, if not tens of thousands of games that have come out, right? And
that's a lot of games. I'm like, wait, 1,000? I don't, maybe.
I mean,
I think I've played like 6 in my whole life.
Oh my God, Joe.
That tracks.
And one of them we talked about last week.
Kirby Air Raiders.
Dreamland 2.
Kirby Air Raiders? Yes,
never
Kirby
heard of
now
Kirby
plays
Air
for
Raiders.
the...
Air Raiders would have been a
Yes.
better title. But, so, like, I don't want to get too much into it, but Metroid Prime 4 came out, and, like, there was quite a bit of nostalgia with 3 other Metroid Primes before that, and a whole nother slew of lore in all the other games. And, like, certain things were great in that, but overall, like, I don't think I'll ever replay that game. Like, we both beat it, you and I, Tom, and so, like, it's just so weird. Sorry. Because I just am thinking of, like, all these different games. Like, you saw me play Mario Kart World for, like, the first time, and, like, I was having so much fun. But, like, the replay value in that, I feel like, is less because I'm not a big Mario Kart person. I was back in the day. And even on this list, we can talk about, like, where some of these lie. But for the most part, like, it depends on each person, right? Can you separate them? I feel like yes and no. I'll get back to you on a game that, like, is very nostalgic that I've replayed over and over again.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let us know when we hit that moment, and you can fill us in, and we'll end on Joe here real quick, just because, and we'll start with Joe and go around the horn. Joe, just based on like a percentage, right? You joke about like, oh, I played 5 games in my life, but realistically, I would hope that of these 100 games, you probably have played a good portion of them. Give us a percentage, just real quick, of games that you on this list that you've dabbled in.
From
You don't have to point out single titles. I just we want a number.
Yeah,
I'll ask
yeah.
Dan and Drew the same question.
I'm thinking probably about a third, give or take another couple of titles. That I've put any like significant amount of time into, like enough to get an idea of the game. I think there's probably a handful on here that I've put like a few minutes into, and either at a friend's house when I was young, or picked it up and was like, I've just gotten past the first cutscene and decided that this game wasn't for me. But I think I've put actual time into probably about a third of the list.
Okay. Dan, how about you?
Yeah, I'd probably say about half. And also just, I think some of them are of a series. So it's a specific installment in a series, and maybe I haven't spent a lot of time on that one, but I know the series well enough.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's good. There are a couple from a single series where I'm like, I haven't even gotten into any of these. Drew, how about you? I think Drew's counting
I
actively
am.
right now.
Am I the odd man out that I've played at least 90 of these games to a good extent?
I think I've counted like 4 or 5 that I've never played. So, no, you're not the odd man out.
All right, so you're with me.
Well, maybe we're both the odd man out together.
No, but yeah, easily over 90% of these games I've delved into quite a bit.
I would say there's only 4 or 5 that I've never heard of. The rest I'm at least familiar with.
Okay. All right. So I only have that as a baseline just to give listeners an idea of like where our experience comes from, because it is really hard to generate this list and these games on this list. And please, it's a really well-written article. It's a nice trip down memory lane. You're going to see some titles, things you expect, and a couple surprises. We're not going to list all 100 titles because, 1, it would take a lot of time, and 2, who's going to remember that? But it's a good article. I'm sure you can find that out there. I just kind of wanted to lay a base work for what we're familiar with. some of these games date back really long time ago, and it would be kind of unfair for someone who has been playing for, say, even the last 20 years to have an understanding of why a game like maybe Tetris ranks so high. Granted, Tetris is pretty perpetually available on lots of things, but if you didn't grow up playing video games in the 80s, you might have a hard time selling someone on why Super Metroid should be as high as it is if you've never experienced it. And some of these games are arguably a little hindered on their ability to actually play on a modern console in a relatively painless way. So that being said, I guess if anyone is interested in jumping off, I had Drew listed first, so maybe he can kick it off for us. Drew, tell us a game on this list that you feel, let us know what number it's at, but give us a reason as to why you think it deserves to be higher.
First off, I want to say that the latter portion of this list, I was shocked is like Switch and Super Nintendo based for the most of it. The game that I chose is at 23, and it is Super Mario Galaxy. And I am...
You think 23 is not high enough?
Because Super Mario Galaxy 2 is ranked 12, and to me, I loved Super Mario Galaxy 1 more than I loved 2. Yeah, 2 added Yoshi and like a lot of other...
2 is ranked 14th, by the way.
14th,
sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm looking. There's literally the list is Mario and Zelda. Like, and I'm face blind in a group of kids. I'm face blind in a group of 100 games that all of them are named Mario or Zelda. Literally, you search Mario, it shows up 19 times. You search Zelda, it shows up 10 times. That's a fourth of the list, which is insane.
Yeah.
I know it's
So,
Nintendo, but Super Mario Galaxy 1 to me, I enjoyed more than I enjoyed 2. 2 felt like work to me. Like I beat it in a weekend, and I never went back to it. Whereas I liked Galaxy 1. I think it hit that nostalgia factor of it's a 3D game, it's a new Mario. It's very exciting because now we're, instead of dealing with just a 64 like world, now we are actually dealing with the front, the back, the left, the right of a globe, and like water effects and the whole introducing Rosalina and the Starmies or whatever they're called. Just I would rank that higher than I would rank its sequel. And that's a big gripe on this entire list in general, is like sequels. If they improve that game that much more, like did Galaxy 2 jump the shark so much more that it jumped 10 spots from Galaxy 1? Anyone?
I'm right there with you actually. I don't know that I noticed that when I pointed out when I went through it initially, but I'm gonna die on this hill later, and I'm gonna not. I'll save it. But there's that's sort of what I was talking about, that novelty factor. When Galaxy 1 came out, there was so many new ideas, and how you navigated the world, quite literally, was not only exciting and fun. It was like kind of game changing, where Galaxy 2 was more levels, right? And so like I don't know, to your point, I don't know if it really deserves to be higher ranked. It's not that it was a bad game, but I just think like you have to consider the new idea, novelty of somebody taking a stab at pushing something in a direction and it going over really well. Doing more of that same thing is less impressive to me.
Yeah, it also raises the question of if the sequel's inherently a better game than the original, does it then, like, okay, so if Galaxy was, what, 26, 27, and Galaxy 2 was 14, so are you saying that Galaxy is still better than whatever would have ended up being the 101st best video game?
Yeah.
Is it, like, does it warrant having both of them on this list?
Also,
And look, and sometimes it does, and the one I'll just point out, like there's a couple sequels on here where the originals aren't, right? Luigi's Mansion 3 is number 49.
shocked
The
about
first
that.
two were not on this. the first two are not on this list. Well, 3 is a fantastic game, and I think
so
it does a much better job of the first two. Bayonetta 2, Splatoon 3, Wario Land 4, Mega Man 2. Like, these are all games that are sequels that are on this list where the originals are not. I don't know if, to your point earlier, Drew, like Mario and Zelda tend to be the outliers because the initial game in a series tends to be incredibly innovative, and then the sequel to that game refines that innovation and does make a better game, but you can't negate what the first one brought to the table. I don't know.
I was thinking about this, and I think what honestly IGN should do is like rank. Yeah, I was gonna say rank the franchises, but like I know there are more Mario games and Zelda games and vice versa, but it should be like Zelda adventure games, Mario adventure games versus Mario Kart games, and those types of things. If you look at the ratings for both of these, they both got a 97 on Metacritic and both got a 10 on IGN. So like, how are they that far apart? If the grading scale, like, I know you could go back to your intro about being biased and like how these are made, but it's just like it's a little baffling.
Yeah, I wouldn't even put too much stock in the scores, right? Because arguably the individual score is just one person's opinion. So to put a number on that and have it cemented in stone as the be all end all, I wouldn't put too much stock in, right? It's just kind of a reference point, or even for us a talking point, or a purchase point, right? So, but it does kind of raise that, like, yeah, it is the same. So do we need both? I'm not sure. I'll go to. That's a good way to kick that off. I'm going to go to Dan, who I think stole my answer because yeah. So Dan, why don't you tell us what game on the list you feel deserves to be higher?
They had what was it? Donkey Kong Country 2 at 70. What was it? 78. And
Yes.
again, like I know they are all sort of shuffled out. You sort of start with the number one of all time and work your way backwards. But I think looking at some of these other games, I think DK2 is one of my top 20 favorite games of all time. And I think it definitely could beat out some of these other games, particularly when there are like 6 or 7 installments in the series on the list ahead of them. We don't really need that many versions of the same story, where DK2 was like pretty prolific. And also just a nod, like DK3 is not on it at all. And I also thought that was a pretty fantastic game. Not quite as good. The music wasn't as strong, but DK2, I would say maybe top 50 at least.
Yeah, I mean, and for me personally, just to chime in on it, because it was also my selection of a game that I thought deserved to be higher. I mean, the next highest 2D platformer on this list is Wario Land 4, and that's at number 68. So that's only a 10-spot jump. I mean, for what Donkey Kong 2 brings to the table, I don't know if Wario Land 4 did anything hyper innovative, but as far as 2D platformers go, and Donkey Kong specifically, 2 is considered one of the best in the franchise because it takes what Country did and elevates it in both its level design and its complexities and its music, and it's a beautifully gorgeous game. I mean, those roller coaster levels are just with the fireworks and the carnival sounds. Like it is really beautiful. But I'm with you, Dan. That was my pick as well. That game is outstanding. And while 3 does get a bad rap, because you play as a giant baby Kong.
Kitty.
It also does some really cool stuff as well. I think if you're like, well, we got to pick one, I think this would be the natural choice.
Yeah.
Joe, do you have anything on this list that you feel should be a little bit higher?
First, before we do that, I want to say I counted while Drew was talking, and quick count, so I might have missed one or something, but I broke 51 games that I've put at least 5 minutes into.
All right, so you're over 50%. That's good.
Hell yeah. That said, to really stand behind changing one of the numbers, changing one of the places on this list, I'd have to spend a lot of time comparing it to games that I have and haven't played and weighing them in my own way. But if I'm going to take a quick look and just pick one out that I think should be higher, coincidentally, it's a game that I played for the first time not too long ago that you recommended to me, Tom, and that is Live Alive. I think the I think the game I think it did super well with storytelling and with tying all of the stories together and making you care about characters that you only spent a little bit of time with, because generally each like story piece was like pretty short, but they were all. I don't know. They were all kind of heart wrenching, especially when you get like the actual final ending. It really makes you feel for who the villain ultimately turns into, and I think they did a lot of cool stuff, especially considering you only play in each section of the game and as each character for a short amount of time. It's balanced very well for an RPG. You didn't have to spend much, if any, time grinding, which is what a lot of people expect out of an RPG, and maybe some people want that and they lose it. But I think it did a great job of storytelling. It did some very innovative stuff with having multiple stories and having choices that kind of affect later on in the gameplay. So I think Live Alive is something that should be a little bit higher up on the list for all of that.
Okay, yeah, I agree. And if you guys haven't checked out the remake or remaster of it, it's really, really good. And I think it probably came out. It's a Square Enix game. It probably came out in that shuffle of Final Fantasy V, 6, Chrono Trigger, and kind of just didn't latch on the same way those games did. So to see it be remastered was kind of a surprise, but it's absolutely worth checking out if you love those games. Good pick. I agree with you there. Have you, Dan, Drew? Have you guys played this?
You bought me a copy. It's unopened, so I'm sorry.
It's actually, yeah, it's one of the few games I didn't know.
Okay. Yeah, and that's not surprising because when it came out, most people didn't pay attention to it. So it's nice to see Square Enix give it another go.
That's my backlog for 2026.
So obviously, if we're talking about what deserves to be too high, we gotta talk about what you guys think is already ranked too high. Not what deserves to be high, but maybe what needs to be knocked down a peg or two. And Dan's got some hate for a particular game that might make Drew lose his mind. Dan.
There's a couple of games on here when we're talking about some of these fantastic games, and specifically like using the benchmark of like what got people into video games. And for so many people in the mid 90s, GoldenEye 007 was one of the most like hooked video game. Like it just got people in. And it sits right behind Super Mario 3D World. And like no shade to that, but I think like you gotta consider impact, right? You gotta consider like wide splash of a game like that. And so a couple of these games, like they're fine, there's nothing against them. But Zelda Link's Awakening is an okay game.
It's better than okay. I can't believe you said okay.
It's okay. Zelda A Link Between Worlds, the 21st best video game of all time, I think is like kind of a stretch. Again, it's not a bad game. That's mine. I really did not like Link's Awakening. I honestly didn't even really like Echoes, what was it?
Echoes of Wisdom.
And I thought I saw that on here too. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, that's not on the list.
But it's sort of that same, like you can beat it in 5 to 10 hours. There's not much there. It's sort of a remap, a re-engine of the Link to the Past world. I'm just going to keep talking so I can see Drew's face get more and more red.
Well,
I just straight
Drew,
up left.
Do you want to take a second to defend it here?
I'll agree with A Link Between Worlds. Like that built off of something that you already had, Super Nintendo nostalgia with A Link to the Past, which is like probably one of top 10 games easily. It is, right, on this list. So
could I sidebar you? I know we're like sidebarring on the sidebar, but could I just so A Link Between Worlds at 21 was my choice of a game that's being too high. We're saying that this 3DS game is better than Majora's Mask, which was listed at 24th, the original Legend of Zelda at 41st, Link's Awakening at 47th, and Twilight Princess 61st. I do not think this game is better than any of those Zelda games. So for it to be 21, I think is a crime. That was my choice. While we're on the heated topic, I just want to throw that in there, but we'll bounce it back to Drew. Go ahead.
Throw some gas on the fire.
Like,
that's right, baby.
Link's Awakening, I can beat it in like 2.5 hours, 3, I forget, because the remake came out on Switch, and I told Tom, like, as I bought it, I was like, oh, already done Dungeon 2 in like 30 minutes, and then I was like, done Dungeon 4 in like an hour and 25, and then
Meanwhile, it took me like an hour 25 to find the mushroom I'm supposed to give to a frog or something so he doesn't fall asleep. I don't remember.
Something about
I beat the whole game without dying. Like, it's
being
not
the
too much of a game.
first Zelda that was on the go for me, that I was able to play like everything I wanted, like the little nuances of Chain Chomp and Yoshi in it, and like the little fishing game. And yeah, it was kind of basic, but like it brought the NES and Zelda onto a cartridge that I could take on the go and visit a grandmother or like family and be in the car and be able to play it. So like, to me, another thing is like, you guys are brothers. I have a brother, so like when we talk about certain games, we talk about Link's Awakening because it was a game that we could like pass off and like talk about stupid things like throwing powder on a raccoon and the raccoon doing the spinning dance and then landing, and it becomes a human that looks like Mario with a giant nose because he was just sick. Like, that's a game that like nostalgically, and then it built. The last note I'll say is it built another 2 games off of it with Age of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, and Oracle of Seasons, off the same engine.
Okay.
I'd like to point out that Drew mentioned he can play the game while going to see a grandparent.
A grandmother.
Yeah, a grandmother.
I'm glad you brought this up, Joe.
Because
I'm glad you brought it up. He said a grandmother, not my grandmother.
exactly. He didn't. He didn't
not
commit
my
to going.
brother.
He's going to see some person's grandmother, not
How
specifically.
many grandmothers are you
his.
going to visit, Joe? Drew?
Drew
I
is
have
notorious. He
2.
just goes to like old people communities and says, I'm here to see grandma. And they're like, was it your a grandma? Yeah, a grandma.
Let me talk about
bring out a
Link's
grandma.
Awakening to a grandma.
That's right.
Just random grandmothers with Alzheimer's just giving Drew gifts.
It's just how big my family is.
Aw. Why do they have to have Alzheimer's? Why can't they just really like the company and
I mean,
give him Game Boy games?
that's fair. All right. You know what? You're right. You've got a good point.
I'm just mad at both of you. Like, you're throwing it's better than both you think.
All right.
Well,
then,
you did sell it a little bit more than I think. I've only played the remaster, and it's fine. But I can see sort of like the initial conversation we were having. They're weighted differently depending on what they came out on and how they were innovative at their time, and that wasn't something I was really thinking about in Link's Awakening.
I do kind of like how it's like kind of built on a little bit of the look and feel of A Link to the Past, but had the obtuseness of the original NES Zelda, which is also in this day and age kind of frustrating because they're like, you got to find this flute. Well, I got to dig for it. Where? I don't know. Figure it out. And you just like Drew, to your point, like when you know where to go, you can move through that game very quickly. But when you don't, it can be a little frustrating at times. I don't think that makes it bad. But listen, you get to throw a game under the bus now too. So what game do you think is ranked too high?
It came out this year. I'm throwing Mario Kart World under the bus. I'm sorry. Like,
No, I think that was an excellent.
it's ranked 42, and of the carts on here, you have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which breaks the top 10. That's fine. Double Dash breaks the top 50. I think Double Dash is a better game than Mario Kart World. Like, for whatever reason, when Double Dash came out, everyone was like super hyped that you get to select 2 people and they add this like flair that was not the usual. I'm shocked like the Super Nintendo one isn't on here because that was the one I played the
that
most.
game was great.
And then that built a 3DS or DS version or GBA, whatever. I guess all of them off of that.
Well, really launched the franchise.
Yeah, but like
Right.
again, I don't know how they're rating them. Like we could go back to our podcast where we talked about Mario Kart with the rankings and the trivia that we did earlier. But Mario Kart World, like as much as I like it and I enjoy that we played a few times, I don't. Out of the 4 or 5 Switch games I bought this year, that one's the one I'm going to return to the least. Well, I mean, Metroid Prime 4 I'm going to return to even less than that, but I just 42 seems really high for me.
I also would, now that I'm looking at it, and I don't mean to segue, but I'm going to do it anyway. But the Super Mario Brothers Wonder, I think, was also, it was a really good game. I don't know if it was top 100 of all time. It is basically an upgraded extension of New Super Mario Brothers, which that game, being able to play a side scroller at the same time with your friends, but you actually can impact the trajectory when you hit each other. So many hours in college laughing hysterically.
Can you not do that in Wonder? Can you not play four players?
You can.
I thought
No,
they
you
took
can't.
it out.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Mario Brothers U isn't even on here, which is crazy.
Crazy.
Mario Brothers U kind of.
Not you, the new Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah,
I think that came out earlier.
Yeah, no. So the multiplayer part of that, Dan, I agree with you. I think makes it pretty monumental. I think those games are actually not very good Mario games. The new Super Mario Brother franchise started on the DS and then made its way to the Wii U and then the Switch. But those, if you've gone back to replay those games, they're not really interesting at all. Wonder, I think, did interesting things. I didn't remember that you couldn't play 4 players simultaneously, because that is a lot of fun. And Joe, you famously refer that as, the girlfriend mode, where you just pick her up and carry her throughout the level.
Haven't played the game together in like 5-6 years, and she's still mad about it.
Well, sometimes people hold a grudge.
Yeah.
Sometimes grandmothers hold grudges. What can we say?
Not my grandmother, but a grandmother.
But a grandmother. Yeah, no, naturally.
I'm never going to live this down.
No, you're not.
No, give it time. Someone here will do or say something else that they won't live down, and we'll forget all about it.
Listen, I had 2 grandmothers, and depending on the direction I was going, whether they were near New York or they were in Florida.
All right. We know where Drew's grandmothers are located. We're narrowing down the search.
That's how we get
Joe,
a copy of Kirby Air Riders.
Dan, did you have more to say about Mario? I feel like I
No,
cut
I'm
you
good.
off there.
That's it. No, you're good.
All right, Joe, did you have anything on this list that you thought was too high?
God, I feel like I'm gonna say this, and you guys are. I'm gonna take over for Drew and things you're not gonna live down.
I'm ready.
Because I'm gonna talk about one of
Bring
my favorite game franchises and an incredible game or games. I don't think Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild have any business being number 1 and number 2. I think that they are too new. Like they really haven't burned in long enough. And I think there's an implication to putting a game that new at the top of the list, because it almost implies that games always get, series always get better, and that the latest version of games are better. And the only real reason that would be is because, well, they look prettier. You can play them on a newer console. But that's not really the case. There's a lot of things that go into it, whether the puzzles are... I see your face, Tom, but the problem is we're weighing games that are 30 years old versus games that are 2 years old. And you've got to, if we're gonna be obnoxiously scientific over a list that was not made in an obnoxiously scientific way, there needs to be a scale for this, and how you come up with weights, and how you decide the game was innovative, but was the 30-year-old version as innovative as the 2-year-old version was when it came out, or was it really not doing anything all that special? Were the puzzles good? Were they better than the 30-year-old version? There's a lot of things that go into it that you can compare to, and I don't think that these games have earned their way up to ranking at number 1. I think over time they will change because the context around them changes, but a brand new game, which for all intents and purposes, when we're looking at a list of this scale, a brand new, they're pretty much brand new, and a brand new game just should not be that high, because it really just sounds like oh, I'm excited about this new game. It's great. It's one of the best things I've ever played. Let me put it at the top of the list. And I love both games. I put over 200 hours into both games individually. They are incredible games, but again, I don't think they've earned the top at earned the spot at the top of the list yet.
I'm not fighting them, just so you know.
No, I
kinda
thought you
wanna
were going to
a
fight
little
me
bit.
on.
Dan wants to fight a little bit.
I love fighting about the breath tears convo, but I also think, to Joe's point, like, there needs to be a weighted system for time investment, and I don't know that one is better than the other. I spent a lot of time in one particular video game, but some of these video games you can beat in 2.5 hours, and you can sink 200 hours into another game. How does that impact your perception of it when you live in it quite literally for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or longer? Versus, yeah, I can revisit Donkey Kong Country or Link to the Past and pretty much bang it out in a couple hours. Does that take away from it? Does it add to it? I don't know. I don't have an answer. I'm just saying I think that's something to consider as well.
And what about cultural and societal impact? Like, how are we going to compare Zelda and Kirby and Mario to Tetris?
Yeah, don't knock Tetris. And anyway, your Kirby only has two
love
games.
Tetris.
Kirby has 2 games on here.
Yeah, and the wrong ones.
Yeah, thank you.
Kirby Air Raiders.
Kirby Air Raiders.
But yeah,
Kirby 1942.
Are we getting into the 1 and the 2? Can we talk about it? I've been waiting for 9 months to be able to talk about this.
About the 1 and the 2? All right, are we going to skip everything else?
No, it's fine.
Okay, so you want to get all right.
It's
So
still
real quick,
ranked.
just to set the template here. We'll get back to remove and replace. But the top 10, just so kind of you folks listening know, and we'll work from the bottom up.
Right,
But,
you
10,
folk listening.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Super Metroid at number 8, Chrono Trigger number 7, Ocarina of Time number 6, Tetris number 5, Super Mario Odyssey was number 4, number 3 was Super Mario World, number 2 was Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, and number 1 was Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Joe, it seems like you don't want either one of them in the top 10. Dan, you feel like one should be better than the other. Let's hear it.
Start with me?
Yeah.
I will die on the hill that Breath of the Wild should be and forever ranked a better game than Tears of the Kingdom. I can concede that there are many advancements made in the series or in the game from 1 to 2. I can concede that the temple inclusion, that the 3 levels are fun and interesting, but the novelty of the first time you played Breath of the Wild and the first time you walked out of the ancient temple or whatever it was, the resting ground, and you looked up on the plateau, that feeling of like, this is what I've imagined in my head for 25 years of the world of Hyrule. Here it is. And there's no amount of, hey, there's new sky stuff and you can fly all over, is going to take away that feeling of like, this game nailed it. It absolutely hit that feeling of I can climb over every nook and cranny and find obscure little Korok seeds in this. You got to do it again. You got to revisit it again in the second one. But the novelty and the innovation of the first one, how sparse and barren it was, the limited music, the being able to collect materials and cook food that you needed to bring into battle, that was all things that were like, this is the pinnacle of Zelda. And Tears of the Kingdom added like what felt like a DLC to like, hey, now you can combine stuff and make stuff, and that's really cool, and it gives hours of gameplay. But that feeling of like, I can see the mountain and it's way fucking over there was really cool.
And you can climb it. You just have to hope it's not raining out.
Yeah.
Or lightning.
It will start raining after like 2
Halfway
After
up.
you're 85% of the way up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll every time.
So again, I think in Tears of the Kingdom might be a better game, but in terms of a list like this, I would always rank Breath of the Wild as being a more impactful, higher, critically regarded game just because of the originality and the chance they took in that game.
So
Go ahead, Drew.
if somebody handed you, wait, Dan, if somebody handed you both games and said you can take either one of these, but you can't have both, which one would you take?
He would take Breath.
No, he's actually thinking about this, and I think while he's thinking of that answer, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I would honestly. That's the thing that I was mad about Tears of the Kingdom while playing it was I said this made me never want to play Breath of the Wild again.
And that was going to be my only counter argument. I agreed with everything you said, but like in comparison, even when I got the Switch 2 and they're like, "Hey, you can download the upgrades for these." I downloaded the upgrade for Tears of the Kingdom because I said if I'm going back to either one of those to try it out again or replay again, it's not going to be Breath of the Wild, unfortunately. It's going to be Tears of the Kingdom. So, you said it sucks. Like it almost hurts you that is in fact the case. But
Yes.
does that not translate then to maybe a subconscious acknowledgement that in a tiered list system that's entirely arbitrary, that it still might be the better game?
Well, I guess what I'm getting at is like there are and have been considerably better guitarists than Jimi Hendrix. And if I were going to listen to a guitar player, he's not who I'm going to put on. But I can concede that he would be in the top 10 greatest guitarists of all time because of the innovation that he put out. And I think that's what I'm arguing for Breath of the Wild is that I think it's got to be rated higher just because of its impact and innovation. Where I would prefer to play Tears of the Kingdom, but it just incrementally improved every component of it. It didn't plant a new flag like Breath of the Wild did.
I want to mention you called Tears of the Kingdom DLC. 200 hours is not DLC, but I think the hot take is that the reason it's ranked 2 is because it originally came out on an inferior system and people hated the Wii U.
I don't think that has anything to do with it because it technically came out on an inferior system after it came out on Switch. Wasn't the Wii U version like late? Like it didn't come out day and date, right? So the Switch version existed long before the Wii U version.
But it was built off a Wii U engine. Also, it's ranked higher than Tears of the Kingdom by Metacritic. It is a better game.
Yes.
I do love Tears of the Kingdom. I love them both. Like I think this.
So are we split here?
The story for Breath of the Wild, right? I feel like you got introduced to Riku and I forget the other guys' names. You had a companion in each zone, right? When you were fighting the animatronic bosses. I don't know what they were called either.
The champions or something?
Yeah, which I love that because I'm always a fan of the old school like puzzles in a dungeon. And Tears of the Kingdom, I felt like removed itself from the like cookie cutter, like here's a dungeon, here's a boss, let me give you a heart, and pulled it back and was more focused on the roots and you finding all of the little they were in both, right? The little where you could fast travel to.
The
Shrines, right? So I felt like it was more focused on shrines than it was dungeons, like or at least a big dungeon, which I'm a fan of. You giving me like a Hyrule castle and me going up floors and floors until I get to Ganondorf, or just like the little puzzles in Ocarina of Time or Breath of the Wild with those champions, whereas Tears of the Kingdom does a different style, and you have to like weigh, do you like the exploration of Breath of the Wild, which introduced that you could go wherever you wanted, right? Tears of the Kingdom did the same thing, but then like you said, added 2 new layers that just added more time than it did like adding to the game. I felt when I had to deal with all of the stuff in the air, I was just like, this is a little extra that kind of was tedious.
I will say from strictly a gameplay in Breath of the Wild, when you conquered the champion, you like got that power. You could release it by pressing and holding a button. And in Tears of the Kingdom, you had like a sort of silhouette of the character with you,
Yeah.
and you had to like be near them to like activate it. And I thought it was clunkier and less, kind of more annoying. Like you would use them accidentally.
Yeah, sometimes.
And so I actually think in that specific case, Breath of the Wild had that better. But
All right, well,
I'm gonna go play him.
right? I just forget the backlog. It's just 2026 will be a Zelda Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom replay because yeah, that was a lot. I'm kind of at a loss for words and how to chime in on this because you guys both raised great points and I don't think you can't go wrong with either one. I preferred Tears of the Kingdom personally between the two, and to me, I think that's just the better game. I think it does a little bit more. It gives you more options. I think the puzzles were built around some of those building mechanics. It wasn't just like build what you want because you can. It was build what you want because you need to do that to solve this puzzle. And even outside of the shrines, that became a really important gameplay factor. The dungeons I thought were actually more like temples, whereas Breath of the Wild, all I remember is like being in that stupid elephant and having to change where its trunk was and just hating it.
Yeah.
Like it was so, and the bosses you fought were just different versions of Ganon, and they weren't super interesting. So like there are some knocks on that for me, but I think it's kind of silly to fight over like which is better when they're both just so phenomenally well made, well thought out games. They're really just, as far as the design goes, you can't. I mean, every aspect of those games is just so intentional and thoughtful, and you put that into a world in which you can do whatever you want, and it functions as you would expect. That's crazy. Like I can't imagine what playtesting that was like. You know, Jesus.
And I cannot stress this enough: no loading screens.
If you don't fast travel.
Drew, we can't see you.
That's true.
Dance
I
on
don't
a
care.
podcast.
Yeah,
I'm still dancing at Jake.
Drew loves loading screens. All right. Well, do you guys have? I mean, that was the top two. Those were the big two. So I guess we'll work our way back. Do any of you guys have anything in the top 10 that you're just like, it's kind of a surprise, or anything that you want to like even reorganize within the top 10?
I just want to go back to like what Dan's saying or Joe's saying about like newness factor, right? Like at one point we knew IGN's best game of all time was Ocarina of Time, right? It was hands down. I don't even think Super Mario World broke top 10 back in the day. How many times does IGN they put out a new top 100 every year?
Oh, no. In fact, I think this is pretty. I don't think they've done a top 100 Nintendo games. They might do like a top 25 or top 50 like platform specific lists, and I believe they do those. They revisit those every 5 years.
Okay, but so then to that point, like we knew Ocarina of Time was like the bar to set. Like I don't know when Tetris surpassed Ocarina of Time. I love Tetris, and like I'm okay with it being number 5, but at the same time, like Super Mario Odyssey and Super Mario World sitting side by side, cozy, like having a cup of coffee. I just don't understand. Like
the only thing I can think of there, and so not to cut you off, is just I think the thought is Super Mario Odyssey is the pinnacle of 3D Mario, and Super Mario World is the pinnacle of 2D Mario.
But then you have Breath of the Wild, and we could go back to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom being the pinnacle of 3D Zelda. Literally all three of them. Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, it's the pinnacle of 3D Zelda, and then it's the pinnacle of 3D Zelda DLC.
It's not DLC.
I know.
I'm just wondering, to sort of this point, like number 10 is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like nowhere on here is the original Mario Kart, and you would think that at some time that was a wildly successful, wildly popular game. And I think probably there's some upgrades that have happened, and it looks prettier, and it probably plays smoother. But at the same time, like, I don't know, like, I don't know if it was the original Mario Kart. And you would think that at some time that was a wildly successful, wildly popular game. And I think probably there's some upgrades that have happened, and it looks prettier, and it probably plays smoother. in all intents and purposes, a better game. But is it really a better game?
Well, it added the whole party factor, right? Like Super Nintendo's Mario Kart was 2-player, and then 64
Yeah, I'm convinced.
was 4,
Yeah, that
and then Mario Kart 8 was like as many as can fit a Joy-Con on the Switch, which I think is 8, right?
I don't even know.
Or is it only 4?
Well, I think it's 12. 12 racers on the screen, but 4-player split
Yeah,
screen.
and added online feature. So like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and being the number 1 sold Mario Kart makes sense. Like it's
Yeah,
a
I
top
guess.
10 game. People will go back to it all the time. Like I bet you more people are playing that than Mario Kart World right now.
I'd believe that too.
Chrono Trigger, I'm a little surprised
No.
at.
Don't be surprised at it.
No,
Why?
it's one of the greatest RPGs.
Yes.
if not greatest RPG ever made.
Like that and Final Fantasy 6 or 3 are like side by side.
Right, and Final Fantasy
Six is
6 is
19.
number 19.
Let's
Yeah.
talk, Dan. What makes you confused about Chrono Trigger?
I've never played it, so I'm not confused. I'm just like surprised. I didn't recognize it as popular as it was.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's.
No challenge to it.
Okay, that's fair.
I would even
It's
say
exceptional.
if you played it today, you would be like, "This game's amazing."
yeah,
Yeah.
it holds up. Just
It
don't
holds up incredibly well.
don't play the PlayStation 1 version. These
Yeah, unfortunately, the DS version is like the definitive version, and I
D-
sold that many moons ago.
Yeah, the DS is superior because the bottom screen really makes a big difference in like selecting attacks and having a map and whatever. Otherwise, play like the Super Nintendo version or something. The PS1 version is cool because you can put it on your TV with like slightly better graphics, but also every time you go into the menu, it pauses for like 5 seconds. It's really annoying.
Otherwise, I really have no complaints about the top 10 at all. At some point, you're like, all right, well, who are you taking out? Because, there's so many games on the cusp, right? Like Super Smash Brothers Ultimate came in at 11, and you're like, okay, well, if I replaced Mario Kart with that, there's arguments for both. When I look
splitting
at
hairs.
it feels right. But hey, real quick before we get into our trivia, and we won't have to give a lot of reasoning here. Take a game out, put a game in. Like you can give me a short reason, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. But I did think there were some interesting things in there that I personally thought had no right being in there. And I'll start with Drew.
Oh, I say take Elite Beat Agents as good as it was on DS. Like I just don't think it's a top 100 game. Like I don't think it innovated the rhythm, the world at all. But I would replace it with a game that originally came out on Dreamcast and then came out on GameCube called Skies of Arcadia. It was a very, very good RPG that was very lengthy and involved, but from start to finish is just a phenomenal game.
Elite Beat Agents was number 79, by the way. So also coming in at number 93 was a game called WWF No Mercy. And I know that the Nintendo 64 era and PS1 era was huge for wrestling games. But nowhere in the world is WWF No Mercy the 93rd best game on a Nintendo platform. It's actually kind of insulting to see it there. If I were to replace it, I would replace it with the SNES classic Turtles in Time. There's not a lot of beat 'em ups on this list, if any, truthfully, and that is an all-time great. And even if you just put it in at 93, I would even argue, hey, like that's a good spot for it compared to everything else on this list. And it holds up incredibly well today. It is a fun game to go back and play. Dan, what do you got for us?
I'm surprised Super Mario 2 is not in there, to be honest.
It was a fever dream.
And
Just like the
no,
game
it-
he wants to remove, Link's Awakening.
I would remove Link's Awakening personally.
I quit.
and-
I'm out.
and
I
maybe
can't
one of the others
take this personal smite.
Zelda games. But in no way do I think that Super Mario 2 is the best top 100 game of all time. But I think if you look at some of the other Super Mario games that are in there, I think it's as good. I'm not. I always get these two confused. It's not Double Dragon. What's the other one?
There was another
You're gonna say it, we're all
version
gonna
of
go,
Double
oh.
Dragon.
Oh no, maybe it is Double Dragon. I would put Double Dragon in there.
Yes. God, I'm so happy.
That is
I'm still mad about the
Double
Link's
Dragon?
Awakening thing, but yeah, remember the one episode where I answered Double Dragon to every trivia question?
I do remember that, and it might play its hand in today's trivia.
To go with like beat 'em ups, the last thing I want to say is Ikaruga, which was a shooter. I felt was very
Yeah, a shmup.
innovative.
Yeah, I think that's a good
That
choice.
should replace Sin and Punishment.
Which is also a shooter, like a shmup.
Yeah, no.
Sin and Punishment's also a really good game. If you've ever played it, it's hard to find, but it's a really good game. The sequel was not bad. It's just unfortunately stuck on the Wii, which means it'll never come anywhere else. Bummer. Okay, you guys ready for trivia?
Always.
Round 1.
Circana, the market research company that tracks video game sales, released their end-of-year data on the top 10 selling video games of 2025. How many Nintendo games were featured in the top 10?
This is only in the U.S.
Yes.
Six.
Metroid Prime 4, I think.
I mean, Mario Kart World
joke.
sold way more than that.
Mario Kart. Bonanza.
Bonanza was great. Well, we have to also think about the
You mean
base,
banana?
right? So, like, if it came out on Switch, people are still buying it over Switch 2.
Yeah.
Top 10 games sold this year. How many are Nintendo's? Right?
Correct.
And he muted his face to not show grimacing.
Yeah, I don't want to show my leanings on the chat here.
Can you think of any more Nintendo games other than those two?
I mean, I feel like sports are always like top 10 game. Oh, can I think of anything besides DK and Mario Kart?
Yeah, I mean, I would wager most people play sports games on PlayStation or Xbox.
How about Pokemon
Well,
ZA?
this is just to clarify. This is all systems.
Yeah, okay. So I'd say two or three.
Yeah, I'm fine with those numbers. Thinking,
All right, is that your final
thinking
answer?
like Call of Duty.
Do we get a range? Can we say 2 to 3?
I can give you a range if you want.
He already knows we're wrong.
Sure do. Yeah, sorry. The correct answer, if you want to say this is a trick question, I guess so. The correct answer is 0.
Yeah.
There were 0 games from Nintendo in the top 10. Just to run it down for you, because even I was surprised at number 1, believe it or not. Coming in at number 10 on the way up, Ghost of Yotai, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and then right above it, Call of Duty Black Ops 7, Madden 26, EA College Sports Football 26 at number 5. Appropriately at number 4 is Borderlands 4. Monster Hunter Wilds at number 3. NBA 2K26 at number 2. And the number 1 spot, any guesses?
Is it Claire?
Well, we can rule out Nintendo games.
We can. And it's not Claire Obscure. It was Battlefield 6.
Oh,
Battlefield
yeah.
6.
Hey,
beat out
good for
both Call of
Battlefield.
Duties. Wow.
Yeah.
Good-
Call of
good
Duty's
for
not
them.
By a
doing
lot.
well
I do love
right
Battlefield.
now. Got to get them dog tags.
Alright.
All right.
They
Moving
said
on.
years ago they were coming for them. They were coming for Call of Duty, and they did it, and I'm proud of them.
Now I want to buy a copy of Battlefield 6.
Well, you can join the millions of people that have. All right.
You
You can buy
Question 2.
4.
Round 2.
Circana, the market research company that tracks video game sales, released their end of year date on data on games that sold the fewest amount. In fact, 176 games sold just a single copy this year.
Yes.
Which
All to Drew.
yeah, right. Which platform had the fewest amount of single title sold games? I'll give you some options here. All right, this one is multiple choice. Is it A, and these are listed alphabetically. A, the Game Boy Advance. B, the Game Boy Color. C, the GameCube. D, the PlayStation Portable. Or E, the PlayStation Vita.
176 games sold a single copy?
Yes.
People are still buying games
Please.
on these platforms?
Sure are. These are retail games, so like at an actual store, not used or secondhand.
Like, I saw an article that NES released a game for the first time in like 20 years. What is even coming out on these systems?
Just Dance.
Are they fan mods?
Nope.
Who has a working PSP anymore? Oh my god.
I do.
Why, did jailbreak?
No, it just sits there and does nothing, but it does work.
This question is like near impossible.
I'm just asking you to pick the platform, which has the fewest amount.
It's a shot in the dark. I leave it up to Joe.
Can you give us the platforms again?
Sure. The Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Color, the GameCube, the PSP, or the PS Vita.
In retail stores. I feel like it's gotta be the was the Vita digital only?
It had
No.
a cartridge.
It did.
Micro
Okay.
SD
Memory
cartridge.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah. The PSP Go was digital only.
Got it. That's right. Okay.
Gojo.
See, I would feel like the Vita is the only one that you could even find a game for in stores, like that anybody would carry. But I also feel like that's too obvious. What do you guys think?
Good trivia background music.
See
right?
the Mario pieces flying across the screen.
Something I don't know why the GameCube jumped out at me, but
You want to go GameCube?
I have so
You
many
think it's more likely
questions
the
no,
Vita?
I want to
about
go.
this question.
I want to go Vita.
Vita's fine.
We're gonna go with Joe's answer. Vita's fine.
Fuck. Okay, do it.
Sweet. Vita is
Ah!
incorrect. I will send you guys the article because it actually lists the games. The correct answer is the Game Boy Color had one title for it sold at retail. I was going to ask you what's that title, but there is not a guys. I will give you
No.
until the end of your lives, and you will not think of this title. So the Game Boy Advance had 3 games sold for it. Game Boy Color was 1. GameCube had 12. PSP had 6, and the Vita actually had 10 new titles.
Are these new titles?
Yep. Well,
Wow.
they're considered new as in they are retail copies that maybe most likely have been on a shelf forever. These are not new releases, but
I see.
they are sealed games. The Game Boy Color game that was sold brand new in retail was a game called TNN Fishing Championship.
Round 3.
Doing great. Doing great.
Yeah.
Doing great. Well, this is the question
I'm proud of
for
us.
redemption. Question 3. Since we're all playing Kirby Air Raiders right now, oh, wait a minute. No, we're not, because Drew reneged and didn't buy us our copy. So here is a Kirby question. Kirby can eat a tomato with the letter M on it to regain health. What does the M stand for?
Oh, I thought it was Max. Is it not Max?
It's Maximum or Maxima? I feel like it shouldn't be it can't be Maxim because that's an adult magazine.
Why not?
Because it's an adult magazine.
You and I had a whole
Maybe Kirby
conversation
likes-
about Kirby being very the bad guy. And the adult
that's fair. It's definitely like I'm pretty sure it's Maxim. I think it's Maxim tomato.
Maxim, final answer.
Maxim
Yeah,
is correct.
that's right.
I didn't know that, actually. I didn't know
Really?
that at all, so I was very surprised to see that.
It gives him max health.
Round 4.
Question 4, for the last time this year, will be an audio question.
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm going to be out too. The sound you're about to hear plays as the game transitions to its first chapter page. There's a title screen that says chapter whatever. This is the sound that is played.
It's Double Dragon.
I want to know what game that is from.
Dan, please get
Star
I was
Tropics.
gonna say Dan.
I was just waiting because he said it was a Double Dragon was in the trivia. So
Star Tropics is correct. That is from Star Tropics. That's why when you put it on the list, I was like, oh, this is perfect. I can't wait for this. All right.
Game needs to
and
be on the
you got
top
that.
100.
You got that without any multiple choice answers, which is good because I didn't prepare any. So,
Round 5.
question 5, the final question. Whew, tough one. Which well-known video game recurring villain is referred to as the cunning god of death? Is it A, GLaDOS, B, Pyramid Head, C, Ridley, D, Sephiroth, or E, Shang Tsung?
I don't know some of those.
It's not GLaDOS.
That's a shame.
I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure it's not Ridley.
I can clarify the other games if you need, Dan.
That would be helpful for the listeners.
It's got to be
Sure.
Shang Tsung or Sephi.
GLaDOS is from Portal.
Yeah, it's not GLaDOS.
Pyramid Head from Silent Hill 2. Ridley is from Metroid. Sephiroth from Final Fantasy. And Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat.
Sephiroth is a one-winged angel. GLaDOS is just GLaDOS. There is no cake.
It's not GLaDOS.
The cake is a lie.
Cake is a lie.
It's not, though. You get the cake at the credits, all right?
Yeah, as you jump into a pit of fire.
Yeah, I haven't even played to the
I
credits.
actually think you're wrong, Dan. I'm sorry, D3.
Really? It's okay.
What was 2?
I'm gonna go play Link's
Oh,
Awakening.
2 was
Pyramid Head.
Yeah, good
I don't
man.
think it's Pyramid Head. And I don't think it's Shang Tsung from...
Mortal Kombat.
It's got to be Sephi then, right?
No, it's not Sephiroth. He's one-winged angel.
Sephi's my pet name for him.
Dan is wrong.
Okay, we're going Ridley. Final answer.
I guess it's GLaDOS.
Ridley, final answer,
Oh, wow.
is correct. It's referred to as that both, I think, in the Smash Brothers description of it, and then on a promotional Japanese website for like Metroid Fusion or something.
It has literally showed up in every Metroid except for this last one, Prime 4. I was expecting him to somehow be on Vuros.
Well, he wasn't, but I guess in their defense, at least the boss battles for the most part were really, really pretty good in that game anyhow. Well, that'll about do it for the last episode
Beat you in trivia
of 2025. Let's cue the music here. You sure did. Well, I feel like I didn't give it my best this time, so we'll have to save the brand new trivia for next year. We hope that everyone listening joins us in 2026 and beyond. I hope you three join me in 2026 and beyond. And enjoy your holidays, your new year, and we'll see you next year.
Bring your grandma.
Bring a grandma.
Well, hey, Grandma.
Bye.
Bye.